I stared at the half-empty glass of orange juice in my hand, jolted out of my daze by a familiar voice. Come on, it's New Year's Eve. Don't look so glum. There's a whole spread of food, why do you have to fight your sister over this lobster tail? I looked up to see Mom's face harden with irritation, and a rush of familiar memories flooded in. It's supposed to be one per person. I'm eating my own, how is that fighting her for it? I stared at the plate in front of me, only to see my lobster tail already being slid across the table by Mark to Luna. Right, as always. I've had to give in to my sister my whole life, just because she was born with a heart condition. Any time she so much as looked at something with interest, I had to hand it over. All the best food, the nicest toys, they always went to her first. And if there was something she didn't want? I wasn't even allowed to touch it, not even a bite. And every time, Luna would bat those innocent eyes at me and apologize, all sweet and demure like a perfect little angel. After so many years, I'd learned to just stay quiet and give in. Protesting never worked anyway. I glanced around the table. Mark's parents were frowning at me disapprovingly. Mark himself looked like he wanted to say something but held back. Dad was scowling at me too, all judgment in his eyes. Everyone loved Luna, the sweet, understanding one. By this point, Mark and I had already broken up. He'd recently finally realized his true feelings and confessed to Luna. But she'd said she needed to consider my feelings, dragging her feet on an answer. That's why I hadn't wanted to come to this joint family dinner, but in my past life, I'd caved to Mom and Dad's endless lectures about being reasonable and showing grace, so here I was, miserable. This should be Jenny's. Luna hurried to push the plate back toward me. Mark's mom placed a hand on hers, calm but firm. Jenny, today Mark is treating us, shouldn't he get to decide who gets what? The DeVises and Johnsons had spent every New Year's Eve together for years, taking turns hosting. Luna's smile flickered, replaced by a look of awkward distress. Mark's mom patted her hand reassuringly. Mom rolled her eyes. Oh, for heaven's sake. If you want lobster that badly, just order your own. Dad tugged at Mom's sleeve. All right. The kid gets it. He turned to me. Jenny, you're an adult now. You should know better. Mr. Johnson stepped in to smooth things over, spooning some spinach onto my plate. It's a holiday, let's all stay happy. Their spinach here is excellent. Try some, Jenny. I smiled and nodded. Thanks, Mr. Johnson. I hated spinach. Luna hated it too. But Mom and Dad loved it. Of course, whether I liked it or not didn't matter. If Luna didn't want something, I was stuck with it. I used to get lectured about wasting food if I refused, until the time I forced it down and threw up right at the table. After that, they stopped pushing. Mrs. Johnson, trying to be fair, also served me some food. Jenny, I might have been too harsh earlier, don't take it to heart. But you're not a child anymore, you can't be so stubborn. I smiled and nodded again, subtly checking my watch. Only an hour and a half left of this meal. In my past life, I'd stayed till the end, seething with resentment. When the bill came, everyone's phones malfunctioned except mine, and I ended up paying. No one gets fooled twice. I bided my time, waiting until the server knocked on the private room door. Then I clutched my stomach and stood up, claiming I needed the restroom. No one suspected a thing, except maybe Luna, who asked with fake concern if I was okay. I looked at the half-eaten lobster tail on her plate and smiled tightly. I'm fine. Be right back. I'd only brought my phone, so slipping away was easy. I headed straight for the restaurant entrance, right as the Uber I'd ordered earlier pulled up. Once inside, I blocked all their numbers. Let Mrs. Johnson's perfect son deal with the bill this time, it was his treat anyway. When I reached my parents' apartment complex, I asked the driver to wait and rushed to the study. I rummaged through drawers until I found my birth certificate, then headed back to my rented studio. Thank God I'd had the sense to move out years ago, after they'd turned my room into Luna's music studio. I still remembered finding my things crammed into a tiny, windowless storage room, how it had left me cold and shaking, realizing I no longer had a place there. I opened Zillow and messaged the listing for the condo I'd remembered from my past life. This time, I was acting early, surely it wouldn't slip through my fingers again. On the day of the viewing, I arrived on time to meet the realtor and seller. The realtor was already there, chatting non-stop about the condo's perks. I wanted to close the deal quickly, but I played it cool to leave room for negotiation. Sorry I'm late, is this Ms. Smith? A familiar, smooth voice made me tense. I pasted on a smile and turned, then froze. Why did this seller look exactly like my boss, Ethan Moore? And I'd called in sick today to be here. The realtor perked up when he saw we knew each other, probably thinking the sale was in the bag. I greeted Ethan awkwardly, convinced I'd be fired by tomorrow. But the condo was perfect, spacious, sunny, and in a safe neighborhood. I swallowed my pride and told him I wanted to make an offer. To my shock, Ethan offered a 10% discount. Thrilled, I signed the contract on the spot. After the realtor left, I rushed to explain. I'm so sorry, Mr. Moore, I didn't mean to skip work, but this place was too good to miss, and I was afraid. Ethan smiled. Don't worry, I skipped work too. I thought, sure, easy for a CEO to say. Anyway, Jenny, since it's lunchtime, would you like to grab a bite? I didn't love the idea of networking outside work hours, but I owed him. Sure, Mr. Moore, wait, you said to call you Ethan, right? He laughed. Hearing Mr. Moore makes me feel like I'm on a perpetual motion machine. Just Ethan is fine. I reluctantly agreed. I'd planned to pay, but when he took me to a pricey Michelin-starred bistro, I kept my wallet in my pocket. As we waited for food, I couldn't help asking, why the discount? You didn't haggle. Ethan poured tea. I rarely handle sales myself. Last time I did, the buyer drove me nuts with counteroffers. So he's even richer than I thought. Feeling better now? He served me a forkful of the chef's special with the communal chopsticks. After lunch, he offered to drive me home. Before I could decline, I heard familiar voices at the entrance. Jenny. Jenny, wait. I cringed. I hadn't planned to avoid Mark and Luna forever, but running into them so soon was nauseating. Luna rushed over and grabbed my arm. Do you know how worried we've been? You blocked everyone's numbers, we couldn't reach you. She glanced at Ethan. Even if the adults said some things that night, you can't just disappear like that. It was one lobster tail. Since when are you this dramatic? You used to be so reasonable. Several servers turned to stare. Mark fell silent, after all, he was a famous concert pianist, used to keeping a low profile in public. He lowered his voice. You're coming with us to the private room. I felt a pang of sadness. How much had I groveled to him before for him to think he could summon me like this? I ignored him and turned to Ethan. Ethan, let's go. Ethan nodded, giving me a concerned glance before following. To my annoyance, the two abandoned their meal and trailed us to the nearby underground parking garage. With few people around, Mark grew bolder, he grabbed my wrist. I frowned and snapped, what the hell do you think you're doing? Mark's face darkened. Taking you to see your dad. Luna stepped in front of Ethan, who was about to intervene. You're Jenny's boss. Please stay out of this, it's a family matter. If it's a family matter, Ethan said, sidestepping her, then Jenny gets to decide if I stay involved. Mark held on tight. Mark, those are pianist hands, right? Want me to help you stop using them? I raised my phone over his grip. Panic flashed in his eyes. He released me instinctively, staring at me in disbelief. No doubt he was shocked. During our relationship, I'd obsessed over his hands more than he had. A single scratch had sent me into a frenzy. Looking back, I was such an idiot. I turned to Ethan. Could you drive me home? Ethan? He chuckled. I'm only in my early 30s, not that old. This way. I felt my face heat as I hurried after him. Luna blocked my path. Jenny, you don't understand what happened after you left. Let me guess, I cut in. Your phones died, and the parents couldn't pay? Funny how that works when I'm not around to foot the bill. Luna bit her lip. My phone did die. Jenny, Ethan called, holding open the door of his Bentley Continental. Coming. I hopped into the passenger seat. As Ethan started the car, I saw them in the rearview mirror, Mark holding Luna, who was clutching her chest. Heart attack? Real or performative, I didn't care. My dear sister may have a weak heart, but I doubted this would faze her. Ethan dropped me at my apartment complex. Thanks for today. Sorry you had to see that mess. Don't mention it. Everyone has family baggage. I unbuckled and reached for the door. Wait a second, he said. I paused, curious. I actually need to ask a favor. I was going to call you tonight, but running into you here is perfect timing. Figures, no free lunch. But I owed him, so I listened. Turns out he wanted me to take on extra projects. I hesitated, but between my earlier sick day and his generous overtime pay, I agreed. Plus, he mentioned the executive assistant position was open. Score. As I exited, I froze. Had he called me Jenny earlier? No, better not read into it. This life is about career, not romance. More bread, less heartache. After the condo closed, I planned to update my address at the DMV. Ethan gave me half a day off and even told me to stay safe. So much better than my old bosses. Approaching the DMV, I got an unknown number call. I'd let my guard down after no contact, rookie mistake. Dad? I stiffened at his voice. He asked warmly to meet for dinner Saturday. No family grudge lasts overnight. Ah, so they wanted another cash cow. Memories flooded back. Years ago, Dad lent his car to a friend who hit and ran. I'd warned him the guy was unreliable, but Mom called me rude, and Luna sided with them. When the friend license expired, broke, couldn't pay, Dad faced liability. They wanted my savings to cover it, all while planning Luna's dream home. You've been fed and clothed your whole life, Mom had snapped. Now we need help, and you're acting like a stranger. Dad had sighed. I know I should have listened, Jenny. Just this once, help us out. Luna, the martyr, maybe we can delay the house. My health isn't. Never mind that I was only 2 years younger. In the end, I'd caved. Now, I vowed not to repeat that mistake. They chose the same restaurant from New Year's. I entered the private room to find them already seated. Mom pressed the bell for servers, shooting me a playful glare. We ordered all the classics tonight, lobster, caviar, the works. No more fighting over scraps. She still thought I'd stormed out over food. Luna acted like nothing happened, eyeing Ethan's photo on my phone. Is that your boyfriend? The guy from the restaurant? Dad perked up. You're dating? Why didn't you say? He's my boss, I said flatly. You heard me call him Ethan the other day. Luna smiled sweetly. He must be generous taking you to Michelin spots. Your salary. Well, I just hope you're not overspending. Generous, yes. And I did overspend, on a condo. My savings are gone. Their jaws dropped. Perfect. After the shock, their stares turned to disapproval. Luna stayed silent, letting Mom and Dad do the heavy lifting. Your sister is defending you, and you're still being childish. Mom snapped. The food arrived, but I just sipped water. Remember how you said all family money was for Luna? That I had to be independent? So I bought a place. Problem? Dad sighed. Jenny, family shouldn't keep score. We may have favored Luna materially, but our love is equal. Sure, like all favoring parents say. How much do you have left? Mom cut to the chase. Couple thousand for rent. That's it. A lie, I had a 5-figure emergency fund. But they didn't need to know. Mom seethed. What if you need money? We can't support you. Like when you need money? I smiled. She went quiet. Luna nodded at Dad. Tell her, Dad. She deserves to know. Sighing dramatically, he recounted the car loan disaster, the same story from my past life. The victim threatened to protest at his university if not compensated. He finished with a hopeful look. Sorry, Dad, no more free rides. I sighed along with him. Tough break. Really. Dad still had some pride, he couldn't bring himself to beg. But Luna, who'd been quietly gobbling her food, stepped in as the dutiful daughter. Jenny, can't you please find a way? She pleaded. I smiled. What about the family savings? Mom scowled, but Dad shot her a warning look. Luna sighed dramatically. It's my fault. Mom and Dad wanted to buy me a condo, but who knows if I'll ever get married. Maybe we should cancel it. Mom hugged her tightly. Don't say that. That condo is a steal, we can't miss it. I shrugged. Not my problem. Jenny, I know this is hard, but could you at least ask friends for a loan? You know how it looks for mom and dad to beg. Ah, right, the dignity of a university professor and corporate executive. Most of my friends are in the same boat. Who has hundreds of thousands lying around? Silence. Not out of empathy, but because they knew I was right. No amount of guilt-tripping would conjure up the cash. But Luna wouldn't quit. What about your boss? Can you borrow from him? Nope. What? Mom snapped. I laughed dryly. On what grounds? And how would I repay it? Between my mortgage and... Why do you even need to rent? Just sublet your condo and move back home. Then you can focus on repaying Ethan. Am I that desperate to live in a storage room again? I stood up. Let's stop contacting each other. Their shocked faces said it all. They never expected the compliant Jenny to fight back. Even Dad, usually the reasonable one, glared. You want to disown us? Remember, legal filial support obligations can't be waived. He softened slightly. Just apologize to your mom. We're family. No need. I headed for the door. Luna's your perfect daughter. As for support, sue me when you turn 60. The court will decide the amount. Jenny Smith. I paused. What? I didn't eat a bite. You're not expecting me to pay, are you? Get out. We never had a daughter like you. Music to my ears. 2 hours later, a new number texted me. Luna said she'll borrow from Mark, but if you want to come home, you'll repay it. Oops, forgot to block that one. I waited before unblocking Mom and replying, need details about the loan. Her icy response, what details? I hit record on my phone's voice memo. Mom, legally, Dad's friend is liable for the accident, not us. Why is this my problem? She fired back, don't care. You'll pay, end of story. A voice message followed, and stay away from Mark. He's with Luna now. Be smart for once. The rest were rants about Luna's superiority. I blocked her again. Flipping on the TV, I caught Mark's interview. Reporter, fans are dying to know, what's your type? Mark smiled, there's someone I've loved since childhood. I plan to propose after my tour. With his million-plus followers, this was huge. Reporter, never dated anyone else? Mark hesitated, no. So I was just a placeholder. Nice. But I felt nothing, those breakup tears seemed like a past life. Reporter, we wish you luck with both the tour and the proposal. Yeah, good luck to the two snakes. Hashtag Mark proposal and hashtag Mark childhood sweetheart trended for days. I muted Twitter and watched a movie. By Monday, the hype died down. After work, I found Luna waiting outside, all doe-eyed. Jenny, can we talk? Just 5 minutes. Say no if you don't want to. Ethan's voice behind me. He stepped closer, concerned. Need backup? I'm good. Just Luna, no need to panic. Call me if you need anything. He glanced at Luna. Or call the police. I snorted. Will do. Thanks. Still awkward calling him Ethan, but I managed a nod. Luna stiffened at police. Mr. Moore, I'm her sister, would I hurt her? Ethan ignored her and walked to his car. Flustered, Luna changed tactics. Let's go to that cafe across the street. I agreed, if only to end this quickly. The second we sat down, she blurted, I had no idea Mark would say that on TV. I turned on my phone's hidden recorder. Luna added urgently, Jenny, if you don't approve, I'll reject him. I swear. Here we go again. Did anyone else send you here? I came straight to you. No one knows. Great. Let me be clear, I don't care about your relationship with Mark. Do whatever you want. I stood to leave, but Luna grabbed my wrist. I tensed, one fake stumble, and I'd be blamed. Classic victim play, but effective. Jenny, I'll refuse Mark. Just don't shut us out. Mom and Dad miss you. Luna. I looked up to see Mom, now better referred to as Mrs. Smith, storming over, scowling at me. Jenny Smith, do you ever listen? I told you to leave your sister alone. Luna, conveniently breathless now, gasped, Mom, it's not her fault, Save it, I sighed. Your daughter ambushed me. And she's the one holding me. Can't you see she's in pain? Mrs. Smith raised her hand to slap me. Trapped by Luna's grip, I dodged sideways and instinctively pushed Mrs. Smith back. Her slap missed me, instead, it cracked across Luna's cheek. Luna's head snapped sideways, her grip loosening. I bolted for the door, ignoring Mrs. Smith's screams. On the sidewalk, just as I pulled up Uber, Ethan's Bentley screeched to a halt. Get in, he called, smiling through the window. I hesitated, but seeing Mrs. Smith and Luna charging toward us, I dove into the passenger seat. As we drove off, I wondered, did he really take this long to get his car? Or was he waiting for me? Ethan dropped me at my new condo complex, furnished, thanks to his sale. See you tomorrow, Miss Smith, Assistant Smith. I blinked. Promotion? He laughed at my confusion. You seem surprised. I grinned, bold now. Promotions come with raises, you know. Done. Double your salary. Perfect. We chatted briefly, but his warmth puzzled me. Why does a CEO want to be friends with me? Sorry if I've made you uncomfortable, he said. I just hoped we could be honest with each other. I sighed. Ethan, I appreciate it, but until I understand why. I'd rather stick with Mr. More at work. Fair enough. You're wondering why I care. You're not exactly short on connections. And let's be real, our worlds are different. He paused, then said softly, 6 months ago, I saw you at Maplewood Apartments. Arguing with your mom and sister. I froze. That was right after Mark dumped me for Luna. I was a mess then, I admitted. You were hurting. But I also saw how they dismissed you. Reminded me of my cousin. Your cousin. She had 2 brothers. Parents spent everything on the son. She worked 2 jobs to pay her sister's tuition, barely slept. One night, she collapsed from exhaustion. I winced. That's rough. He nodded. She never asked for help. Too proud. When I saw you that day. I guess I didn't want history to repeat itself. I smiled awkwardly. I'm not your cousin. And I can handle my mom. I know. But when I saw you at the condo viewing, so tense? I thought maybe a friendly Jenny might help you relax. Actually, it made me more nervous. After lunch the other day, I saw your sister and your ex-boyfriend, I assume? The way they interacted with you, plus your urgency to finalize the condo purchase during work hours. I guessed your family issues hadn't resolved. Hence the interventions, sorry if they felt intrusive. Now that he mentioned it, Ethan had never overstepped. His help was just kindness. I cringed at my own paranoia. Though I'd argue we do have common ground, he added. Oh. Like what? For starters, your sister is a master manipulator. You must think so too. I snorted. What if I'm the unreasonable one? Ethan shrugged. I trust my instincts. He paused. Take your time with the nickname. And if you need anything, work-related or not, let me know. I prefer my team focused. His sincerity won me over. Thanks, Mr. Moore. I appreciate it. Good. Also, are you free Sunday? More overtime? Yeah, nothing planned. He outlined his request, and I blinked in surprise. Thanks for agreeing, Jenny. She's very well behaved, I promise. Sure. Though I'm not exactly an expert. Neither am I. We'll figure it out. Later, a new number texted me, Mark, demanding an apology to Luna. The money's not an issue. Stop overreacting. Unbelievable. As a cubicle drone, I couldn't block all unknown numbers, but I could mute them. I forwarded the cafe recording to his WhatsApp and fired back, legally, it's not my debt. Stop harassing me. Next, I got added to a group chat named Family Unity. An unknown user tagged me, Jenny, your mom told me everything. Filial piety matters. Apologize to your parents, like your uncle said. Uncle? Great, the meddling relatives from my past life had arrived. In my past life, Uncle Dave and his family had visited, lecturing me on obedience. Their son, Tommy, then 13, was a spoiled brat who adored Luna but loathed me. That day, Mark had invited Luna out, but Uncle Dave and Mrs. Smith pressured me to babysit Tommy. He'd kicked and screamed, refusing to listen. Maybe reflect on why he prefers Luna, Uncle Dave had chided. Luna, annoyed by our presence, still agreed to let us tag along. At the mall, Tommy collided with a clerk while running, and Mark lunged to catch him, only to nearly fall down the escalator. In my lovesick stupor, I'd shoved them to safety, tumbling down the stairs myself. A falling sign crushed my leg, leaving it with a comminuted fracture and permanent damage. Mark, guilt-ridden, proposed we get back together. I agreed, until our engagement day. It poured. Luna stayed sick, but as Mark placed the ring on my finger, she appeared soaked in the window. Mark dropped the ring and chased her. His parents nodded approvingly. Mrs. Smith held me back, unnecessary, given my limp. Dad had sighed, just let them be happy, Jenny. That was the final straw. Now, the group chat blew up. Mrs. Smith tagged me, Mark and Luna are dating Sunday. Watch Tommy. Be nice. I muted the chat. But Luna spammed me, begging me to join, for family harmony. Mrs. Smith bombarded my phone with calls, later seen in my blocked messages. Clearly, they wanted a free babysitter. I declined, puzzled. Was Luna trying to provoke me via Mark? Too obvious for her usual subtlety. Didn't matter. This time, no one would drag me into their chaos. Sunday was for Sophia, Ethan's adopted sister. After his cousin's death, Ethan's mom had taken in the younger daughter, now 8, renamed Sophia Moore. She aced her math test, Ethan had said. Promised her a day out, but I'm clueless with kids. You'd be a lifesaver. I owed him. Plus, Sophia is way better than Tommy. Sunday, I arrived 15 minutes early at the amusement park. Ethan stood with a small girl in pigtails, waving shyly. Sorry, Mr. Moore, did you wait long? No, we just arrived. Ethan smiled warmly. The little girl beside him, quiet and demure, greeted me before he could introduce her. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Sophia. I grinned, handing over the gift I'd bought, a sleek fountain pen. Sophia glanced at Ethan for approval. He nodded, and she took it shyly. Thank you. As we entered the amusement park, Ethan murmured, You didn't have to buy her a gift, Jenny. I'll reimburse you. I waved him off. It's nothing, really. He just smiled. After a morning of rides, we headed for lunch. To my horror, Ethan parked at Arcadia Mall, the same place where I'd broken my leg for Mark in my past life. I couldn't risk spoiling the day by admitting my anxiety. It's a big mall. They won't be here. But of course, fate had other plans. While Ethan parked, Sophia and I wandered to the electronics floor. A shrill voice cut through the crowd. Of course you showed up, tag along. I turned to see Tommy, 13, arms crossed, sneering at me. Stay out of our way today, got it? Ugh. Seriously? Jenny? Luna and Mark emerged behind him. Luna, make her leave us alone, Tommy whined. Be nice, Tommy. Jenny's your sister too. Luna smiled sweetly at me. Please don't mind him. He's just excited. I eyed them near the escalator, remembering my past life's accident. I knelt to Sophia. Let's stay away from them, okay? She nodded, eyeing the trio warily. Luna noticed Sophia. Who's this little one, Jenny? None of your business. Luna's smile faltered. I was just saying hello. Does Ms. Davis make a habit of interrogating strangers? Ethan joined us, stepping between us and Luna. I tugged his sleeve, anxious to leave. Can we go, please? Sophia pulled at his arm. I'm hungry, Ethan. He ruffled her hair. Let's find lunch. As we walked away, Tommy shouted, Hey! Where are you going? Ethan turned and glared. Tommy shrank back, silent. Detouring to another escalator, we passed a commotion at the dictionary counter. A teenage girl cried as her parents argued with a clerk. I want the star tutor. You promised. The superlingua is better for exams, the clerk insisted. Trust me, it's worth the extra cost. The parents, confused, nodded along. I sighed. For all their cluelessness, they clearly loved their daughter, unlike mine. The clerk looked familiar. Wait, is that the same guy from my past life? He answered a call, paled, and bolted toward the escalators. Seconds later, a scream pierced the air. Mark! Luna's shriek echoed. A loud crash followed, then a familiar wail. My hand. Someone help. On the escalator, I couldn't see the chaos, but horrified whispers told the story. 2 people fell down the escalator. Isn't that the pianist? Oh no, his hand's trapped under a sign. So Mark's hand was shattered this time. The clerk got impaled by a falling pipe. Karma, brutal as it was. Jenny. Come help. Luna raced to the escalator, waving frantically. A bystander tapped my shoulder. She's calling you. She's mistaken, Ethan said coolly before I could respond. The bystander shrugged as we ascended, Luna's voice fading. Ethan noticed my frown. Worried about them? I shook my head. Just. Losing my appetite thinking about it. I glanced at Sophia, guilty for speaking bluntly in front of a child. Ethan seemed to understand. Those people weren't kind to Jenny, he told Sophia. She turned to me solemnly. Then you don't have to be kind to them. Smart kid. We reached the rooftop restaurant. Thanks to Ethan, I enjoyed a luxurious lunch. Afterward, we were supposed to take Sophia to a movie she'd been dying to see. Watching her chatter excitedly, I murmured, lucky she found someone who cares. Ethan nodded. Mom took her in not just out of pity, maybe she saw something of herself in Sophia. I raised an eyebrow. He smiled faintly. Mom had a brother too. One who took everything for granted. Ah. That explained it. As we left the mall, Ethan's phone rang. His face paled at the caller. Jenny, I'm sorry, something urgent at the office. Could you handle a personal errand for me? While I expected work tasks, I nodded. Of course. What do you need? My mom's in the hospital. I need you to check on her. He gave me the address, oddly familiar. Wait, isn't this Luna's usual hospital? Ethan wanted me to drop Sophia off first, but she insisted on coming. He sighed and entrusted her to me. I bought lilies and apples nearby, then hailed an Uber to the hospital. Inside, I froze. There were Dad and Mr. Johnson. Dad scowled. What are you doing here? Mr. Johnson glared but said nothing. So Mark was being treated here. I brushed past them. I'm here for someone else. Dad snapped, your sister's in the hospital because of you. Go home and reflect. Luna's here too? Ethan's mom had heart issues, could they be in the same ward? Sophia tugged my sleeve. We need building 2, not 1. Perfect. Avoiding Dad, we turned to leave. Where are you going? He boomed. I sighed. Not here for Luna or Mark. Promise. Before he could retort, a doctor approached with Luna's update, and Mr. Johnson answered a call about Mark's panic. I seized the chance to flee. Who were those grumpy men? Sophia asked. The angry one's my biological dad. The other? My ex-boyfriend's father. Sophia nodded solemnly. Your ex isn't as nice as Ethan. I choked. We're just boss and assistant. But you're spending Sunday with him. To chaperone you. We arrived at building 2. Ethan's mom was in a VIP suite, guarded by 2 suited men. Ms. Smith? One asked. Mr. Moore called ahead. Come in, please. Inside, a sophisticated woman lay in the plush bed, Ethan's mom. Wait. Is that Eleanor Moore, the CEO of Moore Industries? Divorced after her husband's affair, she'd built a Fortune 500 company while raising Ethan. So Ethan was heir to a corporate empire, and he'd started his own firm from scratch? Hello, Jenny, she smiled warmly. Thank you for the flowers. Have a seat. Her assistants pulled up chairs. Ms. Moore, I. She laughed. Ethan said you'd be formal. Call me Eleanor, dear. Eleanor, I stammered. Sophia clutched her hand. How are you feeling, Mom? Much better now that you're here. Eleanor turned to me. I'm sorry we're meeting like this. I'll make it up to you with dinner once I'm discharged. We have more in common than you think, actually. What does that mean? After chatting, I noticed Eleanor's fatigue. Should you rest, Eleanor? Just tired from today's events. Her smile faded. An assistant handed her a phone. It's Ethan, ma'am. She spoke briefly, then turned to me. Ethan's on his way. He'll drive you home. We said our goodbyes. As we exited Building 2, a shrill voice pierced the air. Aunt. There she is. She ignored Mark's accident to hang out with her boy toy. There stood Mrs. Smith, livid, pointing at me like I'd committed a crime. Mrs. Smith stormed toward me, hand raised to strike. I grabbed her wrist midair. Jenny Smith, how dare you? As your mother, Legally, parents aren't allowed to assault their children. You ungrateful wretch. Your sister's in critical condition. Mark nearly lost his hand, and you're off with some. Sophia, silent till now, snapped back, Ethan's not a boy toy. He's way better than that guy. Mrs. Smith sneered at her. Desperate for attention? Parading around with someone else's kid like a lovesick fool. My vision blurred with rage, but Sophia stepped in front of me. Don't you dare talk to Jenny like that. Tommy mimicked his aunt's smirk. Yeah. Your brother is a loser, and you're a slap. My palm connected with his cheek. Both mother and son froze. Watch your mouth, I said coldly. Tommy wailed, clutching his face. You hit me. Dad will kill you. Aunt hit her back. Mrs. Smith lunged again, but strong hands seized her from behind Ethan's guards. Mr. Moore sent us to escort Miss Smith. The guard's grip was ironclad. Tommy cowered, legs shaking. Unable to physically retaliate, Mrs. Smith resorted to shouting. You traitor. Side with strangers over family? Family? I laughed hollowly. I wish you'd never given birth to me. Their faces purpled with rage, but they didn't dare advance. As I turned to leave, Mrs. Smith shrieked, Jenny, get back here. Sisters support each other. Luna needs you. I almost laughed. Dad had ordered me to go home, and now she wanted me to stay. No. I'm busy. Then I'll ruin your reputation at work. Everyone will know what a selfish. That won't be necessary. The male voice startled us. Ethan stepped forward, jaw tight. I vouch for my assistant's character. And if you harass my employees, I'll involve the police. Mrs. Smith paled. The Vice President Moore? Jenny works for Moore Industries? So Ethan was still on Moore Industries' board. No wonder he was rarely at his startup. Jenny works at my private company, but my stance remains. Threatening my team. TSK. Mrs. Smith flushed, then snapped, this is a family matter, Mr. Moore. I'm sure your mother. Not all parents deserve the title. Ethan cut her off. And as head of Moore Industries Partnerships, I suggest your firm assign a new contact. She stiffened. You can't, this is just a misunderstanding. Jenny and I? Liar. Sophia interjected. You called her a lovesick fool. And he called me a Tommy. Mrs. Smith clamped a hand over his mouth. Ethan turned to me. Let's go. We walked away as Tommy howled behind us. In the car, Sophia yawned, and Ethan asked if we could drop her off first. Of course. I can take an Uber from there, I said. Actually, I need to talk to you. His tone was grave. I frowned. Watch out for Luna. Her heart condition may be worsening. His words jolted me. In my past life, after I'd accepted Mark and Luna's relationship, a fight had led to my fatal car accident, right as Luna collapsed from a heart attack. My parents had even discussed donating my heart to her. Was that accident really random? Ethan added, I'll be focusing on Moore Industries. I want you to run light tech in my place. Wait, me? But I've only been your assistant for. I trust you. His gaze was intense. And there's something else. But it can wait. Staring at my laptop, I couldn't shake Ethan's words from earlier. His father, the one who'd abandoned him, was on the verge of bankruptcy and now colluded with Ethan's uncle to seize Eleanor's company. I saw him at the office today. He said not to blame him, that he needed to secure assets for his second family's son. Said since I'd started my own company and Mom was sick, Moore Industries would be safer in his hands. I couldn't describe the look on Ethan's face as he spoke, only the white-knuckled grip on the steering wheel. Even now, recalling his father's excuses made my blood boil. How could any parent be so biased? Biased. It dawned on me why Ethan had always treated me differently. Refreshing the page, a Twitter trend popped up. Famous pianist Mark Johnson suffers shattered right hand. The video from today's mall accident had gone viral. With Mark's fame, the story already had millions of views. At 8 p.m., a reputable news account tweeted that Mark's team confirmed the injury but wouldn't specify if his hand was affected. An hour later, his studio announced tour cancellations due to unforeseen circumstances. Fans knew what that meant, though some still clung to hope it was a leg or back injury. The Smith-Johnson clan hadn't stopped harassing me. The family group chat overflowed with messages calling me ungrateful. Uncle Dave spewed vile insults, threatening payback. Even Mr. and Mrs. Johnson joined, chiding my coldness, but I'd muted them, only checking in for laughs. Work came first. To help me transition, Ethan brought in his college friend, Alex Chen, a Harvard MBA who'd just left his corporate job. Nice to meet you, Ms. Smith, Alex said, shaking my hand at the briefing. Looking forward to working together. I nearly choked on my coffee. Please, call me Jenny. Ethan cleared his throat. Alex will be your special assistant. Alex groaned. Dude, we used to be bros. Now it's special assistant? He turned to me with a smirk. So, what made you join a startup? Was it definitely not the CEO's face? I coughed violently. Jenny's highly capable, Ethan said sternly. Don't scare her off, Alex. I rushed to explain. I prefer startups, fewer politics. Alex glanced between us, grinning like he knew something. That afternoon, we visited Eleanor's VIP suite. She looked much better, promising discharge in 2 days. When she and Ethan discussed more industries, Alex and I excused ourselves. In the hallway, I spotted Mom and Dad, haggard, stressed. They saw me too, and Mom, emboldened by Ethan's absence, snapped. Your sister's fighting for her life, and you're here socializing? Have you no heart? Dad sighed, voice strained. The doctors say Luna's heart is worsening. We're exhausted, Jenny. Just be reasonable. I froze. In my past life, Luna had faked worse symptoms to delay my rescue. Actual tests showed nothing. Alex, could you wait for me at the cafe? I said. He nodded, shooting a wary glance at my parents. Alone with them, I activated my phone's recorder. If Luna needs care, hire a nurse. I have a job. Mom of Grace snapped, nurses cost money. Quit your job. Dad tried to sound reasonable. Once Luna stabilizes, I'll get you a better position. Easier hours. I remembered graduation. Dad had promised me a role at a friend's firm, then given it to Luna when she decided to switch careers. I have a mortgage. Your easy job won't cover that. Sell the condo. You never should have bought it, we have a room for you at home. Dad cut her off. Jenny, we need help with medical costs. They could hit 6 figures. Your savings. Ask Mark. And remind you, your home has no room for me. Just Luna's bedroom and studio. Dad's face darkened. With Mark's career in ruins? We can't. The condo can wait, family comes first. Family? Like how you kept a storage room for me? Or how you'd sell stocks for Luna but not for me? Those are her inheritance. You're young, you can earn your own. I laughed coldly. What, so I can donate my heart to her when she needs it? I'm not dead yet. They exploded, Jenny. I pulled out the Smith family registry book and thrust it at them. After Ethan's warning, I'd guessed I'd run into them here. Why do you have this? Mom gasped. Flipping to my page, she shrieked, I regret ever giving birth to you. I stared at them, voicing the question that had haunted me. Why did you have me? If you loved Luna so much, why risk another child? Just to have a backup. Asset? Dad roared, how dare you question us? When will you grow up? Mom, hysterical, screamed, why? Because she needed you. Your whole existence. Grace. Dad barked, cutting her off. I sighed. So it was true. I'd always been a contingency plan. Not happening, I said quietly. Leave me alone. Mom trembled. Fine. Consider yourself disowned. We have no daughter named Jenny Smith. I stopped the recording and smiled. Best news I've heard all day. Following Alex's text, I arrived at the cafe he'd mentioned. Inside, he was locked in a heated argument with a woman. Though argument was generous, she was screaming, and he was staring blankly. Finally, Alex said coldly, "I can't help you. Just go." She stormed out, shooting me a dirty look. "Ex-girlfriend?" I blurted out, instantly regretting the intrusion. "Sort of. But not mine," he said with a grin. Before I could backtrack, Alex waved at someone behind me. "Speak of the devil." I turned to see Ethan, who shot Alex a glare. "You said you'd warn me she was here." Alex feigned innocence. "I did. So that was Ethan's ex." I pretended not to notice and changed the subject. "Done with your meeting, Ethan?" He sat down. "Let's grab a bite here." Alex stood abruptly. "Gotta run. See you Monday." And he was gone. Alone with Ethan again, I felt less awkward than before. "Curious about her?" Ethan asked, catching my stare. "Nope." I lied. He shrugged. "Not a big story. She hated that I started my own company, thought I'd fail. So she dated my half-brother instead. She didn't know your mom wanted you to prove yourself first. Light Tech is going to merge with more industries anyway." I nodded. "And now that your dad's bankrupt and his son's a mess, she wants a second chance. Can't blame her for ambition, but things change." "Let me guess, she asked Alex to mediate?" Ethan nodded. "She's tried showing up at more industries too. Heads up, she might come to Light Tech. Can you and Alex handle it?" I sighed, suddenly sympathetic. "We're like two peas in a pod, you know?" I froze, horrified by my own words. But then I met his gaze. "Is that why you wanted to be friends? Because we get each other's messed up families?" He smiled faintly. "After learning about you, yeah. You remind me of Mom, Sophia. Even myself." Mentioning Eleanor, I recalled her comment about fate. "What's this connection your mom mentioned?" "The only thing we share is a nickname." Ethan laughed. "Actually, that's how I noticed you first, your name. When I saw you arguing with your family at Maplewood, I couldn't look away. Then I realized. We both know what it's like to be disposable." I grinned. "So I landed a CEO friend because of a name? Works for me. By the way, does the call me Ethan outside work offer still stand?" "Always." "Great. 'Cause these next few weeks will be brutal. Remember that raise we talked about, Ethan?" Half a month passed. Mia Yi, the ex, didn't show up at Light Tech, though I suspected she was haunting more industries instead. Good riddance. My parents also went radio silent, likely drowning in Mark's lawsuit and Luna's medical bills. Online, Mark's injury updates faded from trending pages, replaced by newer scandals. Eleanor recovered well. The day Ethan picked her up from the hospital, he called me into his office. I assumed it was about work, until he mentioned Luna. "Her condition's critical. The doctors say only Dr. Henry Zhou, a cardiologist in NYC, might help. Your parents saw me with Mom and begged us to intervene." I frowned. "How do they know about Dr. Zhou?" "He did an interview years ago mentioning Mom. They Googled his connections." I winced. "Sorry you got dragged into this, Ethan." "No problem. I need to know, do you want to help them?" "I can call Dr. Zhou if you say the word." He thought I might cave. But I shook my head. "You're my friend, not their fixer. I'm not wasting your favors on them." He smiled. "Glad you're clear on that. But they'll probably come for you next." "I'll handle it." As acting CEO, I'd been swamped with meetings and ignored my personal phone. When I finally checked it, dozens of messages bombarded me. "Jenny, this is Dad. I'm begging you, plead with Ethan for us. You can't let your sister die. Tommy's incident is forgotten. Focus on Luna. Don't make us lose both daughters. Jenny Smith. If Luna dies, we'll donate every cent. You'll get nothing. Jenny, we've known you since childhood. Please listen to Uncle Johnson. Mark's hand is gone, but Luna can still be saved. Your aunt remembers how kind you used to be. Just give us a yes." I was stunned. The Johnsons, still fighting for Luna even after Mark's career-ending injury? According to leaks, they were suing them all for damages, but clearly, Luna remained their priority. I researched Dr. Joe. His hospital specialized in orthopedics too. Ah, so the Johnsons hoped he might still save Mark's hand through some miracle. Classic parents, desperate to fix both kids, no matter the cost. Grace Johnson's message amused me, so I replied first. Mrs. Johnson, what exactly are you referring to? The group chat erupted, angry messages mixed with pleas. Jenny, do you really not remember how I took you and Luna shopping? The gifts I bought you both? I remember you taking Luna alone and buying her gifts. I'm not dwelling on the past, but don't twist things to guilt me. I turned to the others. The specialist is still practicing, but flying him from the US costs a fortune in favors and money. I can't ask my boss for that out of nowhere. We'll pay $1 million. Is that enough? Stop shouting. I literally can't help. To my surprise, my parents went silent, only Uncle Dave kept ranting. Then Grace messaged privately, Mark wants to see you. He said he's glad it was his hand, not your leg. I frowned. Is he reborn? Or just psychic? Curious, I agreed to visit Mark at the hospital. He lay in bed, his right hand heavily bandaged. The bruises were healed, but he looked hollow, far from the confident prodigy I'd known. I had a dream, he said bluntly. As he described my past life, I realized he knew too much. You knew about the accident, didn't you? He pressed. Does my suffering make up for what I did? Luna didn't mean to hurt you in the past. He begged, your parents didn't choose to let you die. They thought Luna's chances were too low. Save it, I said, standing. I'm done being your family's martyr. You're heartless, he yelled as I left. In the hallway, I passed a hooded figure. The build looked familiar, the female, but not Luna. Is that Mark's new girlfriend? Why does she seem familiar? I ignored the thought and headed for the elevator, brushing past my parents and the Johnsons at the nurses' station. Jenny. Last chance, ask Ethan for help. It's not like you're donating an organ. Mom snapped. I pressed the elevator button. Save the threats for someone who cares. To my surprise, Ethan's Bentley waited outside. Get in, he said, tense. Why is he here? I wondered, recalling I'd only told Alex to call the police if I didn't check in. You told Alex, not me, he sighed. We were supposed to work late. You're at Moore Industries. Should I transfer him to Moore so I can stay at Light Tech? I blushed, unsure how to respond. At Light Tech, we heard yelling in the lobby. Alex, we're college alumni. How can you be so cold? Ethan's single, he's waiting for me. It was Mia, confronting Alex. Her eyes reddened when she saw us. Ethan. She sniffled. Before I could step back, Ethan pulled me close and mouthed, help me. Meet my girlfriend, Jenny, he said flatly. Seriously? I wanted to protest, but Mia's tears stopped me. You're just using her to hurt me, she accused. You know I don't play games, he lied smoothly. Mia fled in tears. I shoved Ethan away, annoyed. Sorry, he said sincerely. I'll make it up to you with a promotion and raise. Fine, but this is getting complicated. After Ethan left, I cornered Alex in my office. Why did Ethan show up instead of you? He shrugged. Bro code. He wanted an excuse to check on you. I groaned. This is getting messy. Alex grinned. I think you two make a better team than him and Mia. I threw a binder at him. Get back to work before I fire you. But the chaos continued. Ethan's relatives launched a smear campaign. Moore Industries and Light Tech are frauds. Eleanor cheated on her husband. Ethan abandoned his bankrupt father. When the backlash died down, they targeted Light Tech, claiming I was running it into the ground for personal gain. Ethan's half-brother, Jake, tweeted Ethan dumped Mia for his new fling, Jenny. Now he's handed Light Tech to her, and it's collapsing. All thanks to Dad's generosity. Ironically, Ethan's uncle then tweeted, my sister got nothing in the divorce. I funded her startup, and now Ethan's betraying me. Conflicting stories confused social media, with some users urging caution, wait for facts. When I called Ethan, he sounded calm. I'm ready to counterattack. Don't worry. Jake and Mia must have thought their lies were working, because Mia reappeared at Light Tech, sneering at me from the reception desk. Ethan's standards have plummeted, she scoffed. I'll pay you $100,000 to leave him. I smiled sweetly. Sure. Transfer the money now. Mia froze, probably not expecting me to agree so quickly. Once you actually leave him. I cut her off. So you don't have $1 million? All talk, no action. My annual salary's already close to that, anyway. Okay, I lied. Ethan hadn't finalized my raise yet. Oops. Mia stormed off in a huff. 2 days later, Ethan launched his counterattack. He first released legal certifications for more industries and light tech. Eleanor submitted proof of her ex-husband's infidelity and their divorce agreement, revealing he'd delayed the divorce to extort half her assets. On the Moore side, her brother had inherited most family wealth. She'd started her company with minimal cash, not his generosity. After clearing their names, Twitter dug into the Liu family. Turns out, Charles Liu had cheated on his new wife too, while his wife filled their company with incompetent relatives, driving it into bankruptcy. Jason Liu harassed female colleagues, wrote inappropriate online content, and even misinterpreted innocent usernames to bully women. Netizens uncovered Mia's history of dumping Ethan for Jason years earlier, long before I joined Light Tech. She hadn't been cheated on, just greedy. Soon, official accounts announced Charles and Jason were under investigation for tax evasion and gang ties. Both were arrested, along with Charles's mistress. Ethan's uncle, Andrew Moore, fled out of state after gambling away his house to loan sharks. Mia vanished from the spotlight, though I doubted she'd learned her lesson. Despite the victory, I felt uneasy. A month later, my phone rang. Ms. Smith? This is Family Ties TV show. We'd like to discuss. I was in a meeting with Ethan and Alex when the call came. My parents had gone viral, smartly avoiding the earlier media storm. They'd waited for public memory to fade. Now they were milking Luna's hospital room for sympathy. I turned on the conference room TV. Luna looked surprisingly healthy, propped up by doctors my parents had bribed with favors. The host, expecting me to refuse an interview, called me live from the hospital room. Your sister is dying, yet you've cut off your family over petty grievances. Don't you think that's heartless? Your parents prioritized her health, isn't that natural? The host's tone was accusatory. Online comments exploded with hate. What an ungrateful brat. Her sister needs a heart transplant, and she's buying condos? So what if they gave Luna a study? Can't she share? No wonder her ex moved on. Who'd want someone so cold? Parents said he always loved the sister. She was just a rebound. Ethan smiled. Need help? But I bet you're already prepared. You know me too well. I sent him the evidence file, timeline reports, voice memos, screen recordings. Alex, disgusted by my parents' manipulation, offered to track their paid trolls. Ethan called his PR team. Alex dug into the networks. Ms. Smith? Are you there? Ready to apologize? The host pressed. I'm here, I said coolly. Check Twitter later. There's a video that tells the real story. Why not share it with us directly? Because you prioritize clicks over truth. You convicted me without evidence, so no free publicity for you. I hung up. On TV, Luna paled at the mention of Twitter. The host, sensing drama, wrapped up awkwardly and left the room. My parents stayed in Luna's hospital room, but Uncle Dave and Tommy suddenly joined the chaos. Silent earlier, they now chased the cameras outside. The Family Ties crew, hungry for drama, thrust microphones their way. Tommy, who'd recently called me a bastard, now posed as a model student. Uncle Dave, who'd threatened me, acted like a doting uncle. Both claimed my parents and Luna had always been kind and accused me of petty selfishness. They even brought up the slap, framing it as Tommy's innocent remark and my overreaction. I thought the madness was limited to my family, until the Johnsons weighed in. Online sleuths noticed Luna resembled the heart attack victim from Mark's accident. Fans connected her to Mark's childhood sweetheart comment. To everyone's shock, Mark's Twitter liked a tweet speculating they were together. He then posted a vague update about his hand injury, implying he'd shift to composing. His first personal statement since the accident went viral, with fans demanding details about us. In a reply, he said he'd failed to appreciate my kindness, implying I'd obsessed over him. His parents called the show to set the record straight, hinting our relationship was one-sided and begging me to focus on Luna's health, code for fixing Mark's hand too. I knew the comments would be toxic but couldn't resist scrolling. Ethan slapped a hand over my phone. "Stop," he said. "Send me the rest of the evidence." "How did you know?" "I just do." He smiled. I sent him everything, the context behind Tommy's slap, my cringeworthy chat logs with Mark, kept from my pre-rebirth days of lovesickness. I'd hoped to avoid airing dirty laundry, but they'd left me no choice. "Don't they realize how harsh this looks?" Alex marveled. I sighed. "They think I'll cave if they shame me enough." Like always. Before Ethan blocked my phone, I'd seen tweets like, "She hit a child? Disgusting. Light Tech should fire her. Boycott more products. Ethan should dump her and save Luna to redeem himself." They assumed desperation would make me beg, but they underestimated my resolve. After Ethan's PR team prepped the counterattack, we grabbed lunch. By the time we returned, the tide had turned. Ethan's team partnered with a hard-hitting investigative blogger, who dropped bombshells hourly starting at 1 p.m. The first audio clip revealed my parents' lies about needing my savings. Some users apologized, others defended Luna. But as more evidence emerged, Luna's manipulative texts, Mark's gaslighting, the public turned. Even the Johnsons, once respected, faced backlash for enabling Mark's lies. Uncle Dave and Tommy were dragged for their hypocrisy. WTF kind of parents hoard assets for one kid but demand the other pay off their mistakes? The recording sounds like they had Jenny for Luna's heart. That's straight up dystopian. Luna's as two-faced as Mark. Perfect couple, trash. Tommy called her a bastard first. I'd slap him too. Even critics had to admit. Suspicious how quickly they lawyered up instead of denying the recordings. Jenny started recording after the new year, smart, not paranoid. Show's been pulled, lol. Karma. Ethan piled on with a tweet. Jenny asked me to consult Dr. Neil Joe for Luna. He's booked for 6 months but sends well wishes. Dr. Joe retweeted, confirming. I'd never asked, but Ethan's white lie gave me cover. I wondered if my parents regretted their stunt. As Ethan left to handle more industries, his secretary warned me, 2 couples are demanding to see you. They're upset. They were relentless. Too bad Mark had been discharged, otherwise, his parents would have joined the chaos today. I told my secretary to call security and hailed an Uber as usual. But they chased me outside, forcing me back into the building. The guards held them at bay as Grace shrieked. "You monster. You want your sister dead? I'll never forgive you if Luna dies." Ignoring her, I turned to the Johnsons. Not even Huatua could fix Mark's hand. Let it go. Crowds started pointing. Humiliated, they retreated. My dad gave me a final, conflicted look before leaving. My Uber arrived quickly, the driver even waved. Odd, but I climbed in. Minutes later, my phone pinged. "Miss Smith, I'm here." "Where are you?" I froze, staring at the driver. She smirked in the rearview mirror, removing her cap and sunglasses. "Mia? Blame your family for abandoning you," she hissed, swerving wildly. Her eyes were manic, foot heavy on the gas. "Are you trying to kill us both? Only you die. Then Ethan's mine." She sounded delusional but determined. "We're approaching Luna's hospital. Your accident happens first." I panicked. "You'll die too. Front airbags, sweetie. You're in the back." She was right. I cursed myself for not checking the license plate. Ahead, a police checkpoint appeared. Mia cursed and hit the gas harder. The car crashed through barriers, spinning out of control. Seatbelts in the back were cut. I clung to the handrail as we slammed into a guardrail. My head jerked forward, but no pain came. Fancy car with rear airbags, I thought before blacking out. I woke in a hospital room. Ethan sat beside me, haggard from days of vigil. "The second Alex noticed your Uber was off route. Should have called you first," I mumbled, avoiding his gaze. "Your ex is intense." He sighed. "She wasn't always like this." Alex arrived with updates. Mia's front airbags failed. She lay comatose, likely brain damaged. The car belonged to Luna, gifted by Mark. The familiar figure at the hospital? Mia, scoping out her target. Luna had pressured me to join them at the mall weeks earlier, hoping for a convenient accident. Her goal? Not a transplant, but to eliminate competition for Ethan's pity. I turned to Ethan. Did my parents know? Silence answered my question. The Johnsons, though uninvolved, were questioned for frequent contact with my parents. Mark, paralyzed and disfigured after a vengeful clerk pushed him under a truck, now relied on his parents full-time. Both men resigned from academia to care for their sons. 2 months later, Ethan took over More Industries, and Lightteka's merger began. I became Lightteka's CEO. At More Tower, Ethan walked me out. Still no answer? He asked. Career first, remember? He smiled. Meaning I still have a chance. Also, Mom wants you for dinner. I said yes. Keep business and pleasure separate, CEO Moore. We laughed, stepping into the sun, 2 survivors, finally free.